Fable 3, working on the last quest out at the Traitor's Keep, Prisoner Management for Beginners. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of 5 books running around the island, and at this point it gives you the key that opens up some areas that you couldn't previously get to. So we're going to pretty much run around the whole island and get the last of the Penologist books, or the Penologist books. And then at the end we have to make a decision on leaving the prison status the way it is or whatever, but we'll get into that at the end of the video, so let's get into it.
Whoa!
It seems Lieutenant Hadley is in need of some assistance,
Don't prisoners
and
have
perhaps
bad
he
enough
knows how
without
to
having to
select
eat
the
this
next
lot?
warden.
Woohoo! I thought this stuff was revolting before. Now I know what's in it.
Your Majesty, let me give you a status update on the prison. We've accounted for all prisoners. All living inmates are secure, and final casualty tolls are being tabulated as we speak. The perimeter has been inspected, with security breaches identified and repaired. Patrols have returned to normal, with guard shifts rotating every 6 hours. We're all sleeping easier since you ran down those thugs, and the cemetery's quiet. And so now, I don't know. Your Majesty, I've performed all my duties. Now's the time when I'd normally await further orders, but I'm not likely to get any with Commander Milton no longer, in command. He had a set of books which covered different aspects of the penal system. They'd be awfully useful, but they disappeared during the riot. Think you could keep an eye out for them? Thank you, Your Majesty. I knew I could rely on you. This set of keys should give you access to all areas of the island. And my house. I'm gonna need those back, if it's all the same to you.
Penologist's Handbook, Volume 3, Conjugal Visits. Contrary to popular opinion, a conjugal visit is not when a teacher visits the prison and teaches the inmates about verbs. Conjugal visits do not actually involve verbs at all. Well, they do. Actually, they can involve a surprising number, depending on the disposition, creativity, gender, and quantity of prisoners involved. But none bears repeating here. Just use your imagination. But not too often, as this can be harmful.
With those books, we'll be able to make more informed decisions about the security, safety, and health of the prisoners. Plus, it would be nice to have something to read on a long shift.
Everything just stinks.
My sister, bless her heart, sends care packages.
My lord. Majesty, not much trouble on the twos today. At your service.
I think
At your service, my king.
Penologist's Handbook, Volume 2. Health and Hygiene. Anytime human beings live together en masse in cramped quarters, hygiene quickly becomes a pressing concern. The fact is that most prisons prioritize security and order over prisoner comfort, which is all well and good, but in the summer it can be quite intolerable depending on climate. Prisoners should be given the opportunity to bathe and launder their garments regularly. Anything under once every 3 months, and you are just asking for trouble.
Take a trip. Hello there, Your Majesty.
Penologist's Handbook, Volume 5. Prison Governance. In the event that a correctional facility's commanding officer is killed or incapacitated, authority for the facility should be transferred to the next highest ranking officer. For example, a captain, lieutenant or second lieutenant. In the absence of an available officer, authority then transfers to the highest ranked enlisted man, in descending order as follows: Staff Sergeant, Sergeant, Corporal, Lance Corporal, Private. Should there be no enlisted men able to fulfill the duties of command, authority hereafter transfers to prison staff, the composition of which may vary between institutions, as follows: surgeon, doctor, nurse, cook, janitor, groundskeeper. If none of these are available, the prisoner likely has larger problems than determining who is in command.
Greetings, sir.
Phenologist's Handbook, Volume 4. Health and Safety Facilities. Every prison should have a sterile, well-stocked and fully staffed infirmary. If you do not have a clean and well-maintained infirmary, you could face drastic cuts in funding, or even a reprimand should you be visited by certain representatives of the Bureau of Prisons, who may or may not have particular political leanings or an axe to grind. Trust us on this. An ancillary benefit of having a functioning infirmary is that your prisoners will be healthier.
I tried to sneak out by hiding in a long...
Greetings, Your Majesty.
Phenologist's Handbook, Volume 1. Prison Security. Security is the primary responsibility of the commanding officer assigned to any correctional facility. It is of such paramount importance that it must supersede all other priorities. The only conceivable exception to this inviolable rule is in cases where a member of prison staff is in mortal peril. For example, if prisoners, in the course of an escape attempt, have taken a staff member hostage. In such a case, it is entirely permissible to temporarily reduce security, as in response to a hostage-taker's express demand, with full intention of restoring full security as soon as possible. Only once security is restored should the commanding officer attempt to neutralize or recapture the inmate or inmates responsible for the lapse. The only exception to this rule is again a case where a staff member's life is threatened. Basically, anytime they threaten a member of staff, give them what they want, and then try to fix things later as best you can.
Ah, you found the first book. I'm sure it will give me loads of ideas. Great, you found another book. Can't wait to read it. Another book, great stuff. I'll read this as soon as my shift's over. Fantastic, another book. I look forward to reading this one. Excellent, that's the last book. With all these at my fingertips, I'll have every answer at my fingertips. I suppose the only person I take orders from now is you, Your Majesty. So, what about it? What's your first order for me? Of course, the most pressing issue is deciding how this facility should be run from now on. You could release all the political prisoners. That's sure to endear you to the public. Or you could just leave things... Yes, sir. I'll inform the men of your decision.
Okay, so we gave them all the books, and we left the prisoner status the way it was, and we got our achievement, and that pretty much wraps up the keep. AA Gamer for Life. Hope you're liking the videos. Appreciate the thumbs up and subscribing.